With 2021 behind us, you could say it was a roller coaster of a year. My year was filled with graduation, travel, a new job, and a lot of theme parks. Here's a look at some of my most exciting moments of 2021. In January, I kicked off my final semester at San Francisco State. While all of my broadcasting classes remained online, I still made the most of them and created several fun projects. You're now all caught up on this week's Pop Central wrap-up. In February, I continued working as a morning news production assistant at KPIX5 News in San Francisco, and I brought you along for a day in my life. February also marked my birthday month. As places started opening up again, I went with a few of my favorite people to the San Francisco Zoo.
Wild time.
In March, I went on my first trip in a long time out east to Orlando, Florida. It was a spring break full of theme parks as we hit up Universal Studios Florida and Islands of Adventure. Not only that, but we also visited the most magical place on Earth for the first time, Walt Disney World.
Big this castle is.
I had an absolute blast exploring Magic Kingdom, Hollywood Studios, Animal Kingdom, and Epcot. I might just have to visit Mickey out there again real soon. Did I mention we also went to the world's biggest McDonald's too? Once the month of April rolled around, I continued reporting for my school's news program, State of Events. California theme parks started reopening, so I did a story on Six Flags Discovery Kingdom's reopening day. I even convinced my friend April to be a part of it. Later in the month, a few friends and I visited the Fresno Zoo for the first time. Take a look at this super cute giraffe. May marked my final month as a college student at SF State. I took part in my school's award show, Becca Fest, and took home an award for Best News Package for my Six Flags story. My friend Rena was kind enough to help me and April with our grad photos. We even took a few in the KPIX studio and got a shout out on air.
Castro is also getting his degree.
I graduated virtually from SF State cum laude and received a department award for excellence in leadership in television and video production. Towards the end of the month, I also went down south to visit Six Flags Magic Mountain. Also, remember the BTS meal? With graduation over and things looking up, June was the time to kick off what I like to call a Vax Girl Summer. We kicked it off with a trip to Las Vegas, checking out a few attractions for the first time, like Omega Mart and the Slotzilla Zipline.
Yeah, Vegas!
I also made my return to Disneyland, running into several of my favorite creators and being there for the grand opening day of Avengers Campus. Let me tell you, scoring a boarding group for Web Slinger that day was really the best feeling ever.
We got in!
Just a couple weeks later, I returned again with Haley, Kevin, and Rena to Disneyland and made a ton of Disney TikToks. Afterwards, when I got back home, I held a grad party with several of my closest friends and family. In July, I headed back to Las Vegas to visit the new Resorts World, ride the Big Apple coaster, and of course, try to go on every ride at the Adventure Dome.
Oh my god, here's the card
I squeezed in the last bit of summer travel in August. At the start of the month, I traveled back to Disneyland and dined with Mickey at a character breakfast. A Disney Plus pop-up stopped by San Francisco, so Rena, April, Haley, and I just had to check it out. I went back to Las Vegas, going for a spin on the High Roller and checking out the super cool Magic Mountain Rocks. After Vegas, we headed for Hollywood as we toured the Warner Brothers studio. Later in the month, I fit in even more theme park visits, including Six Flags Magic Mountain and Knott's Berry Farm. Finally, a bittersweet end to the month with my final day at KPIX5 News and the amazing morning team. They say when one door closes, another one opens. That became true in September as I moved up to Eureka, California and started my new job as a reporter for North Coast News. I've been loving the North Coast. I love jumping in and covering all the stories on the North Coast, including one of my favorites, a local Wheel of Fortune winner. During one of my visits back home, I also stopped by the Kit Tea Cafe in San Francisco. In October, I continued reporting for North Coast News, covering exciting moments like the U.S. Capitol Capitol Christmas tree, and even filled in on the anchor desk.
Good evening, and thank you for being here for North Coast News at 11. I'm Austin Castro, in for Michael Patterson.
With it being spooky season, I also visited California's Great America for their terrifying Halloween haunts. By November, I felt fairly settled into my new reporting position. There is never a slow day in news, especially when you're covering a Coast Guard rescue training or running in Eureka's annual turkey trot.
We are off to a great start. It's all about finding your pace.
I also returned to Modesto for a day of ice skating at Modesto on Ice. Finally, in December, I spent time exploring more of what the North Coast has to offer. Eureka had the super cool Sequoia Park Zoo, which includes the gorgeous Redwood Skywalk. However, the same month, the North Coast was rocked by a 6.2 magnitude earthquake. Thankfully, no injuries, and our team covered every angle of it.
We wanted to know, should residents be worried about the potential of a more severe aftershock or even a tsunami?
Finally, I closed off the year by recapping some of North Coast News' top positive stories of 2021. Looking back at it all, it's crazy to think how many memorable moments we packed into 2021. Let's manifest an even more incredible 2022 and all the amazing memories to come. I wish you a happy and healthy new year, and I'll see you next time on the internet.
One thing I love doing in my free time is creating content either on TikTok or YouTube. It's something I've been doing for many years now, and we like to have a lot of fun with it. And I think our new North Coast News TikTok is going to be something we're going to have a lot of fun with as well.
Real quick for our viewers.